What if everything you've been searching for has never been outside of you? What if the peace you long for, the clarity you hope to find, the love you wish to experience has been patiently waiting within your own soul, quietly calling you home? And what if tonight, while the world grows silent, while your body begins to rest, something deep within you could gently awaken, not through effort, not through struggle, but through love? For over a century ago, the Bulgarian spiritual teacher, Beinsa Douno, shared a simple yet profound truth. He taught that the greatest power in the universe is divine love, not merely an emotion, but a living force that quietly transforms the human soul from within. He believed that every sunrise, every mountain, every flower, every challenge, and every act of kindness carries within it an invitation to remember who we truly are. According to Beinsa Douno, the soul is never truly asleep. It simply becomes hidden beneath fear, worry, busyness, and the countless thoughts that ask us to become someone else before believing we are enough. But beneath all of those layers, your soul remains untouched, whole, patient, waiting. Perhaps you've experienced moments when time seemed to disappear, standing beside a quiet lake, looking into a sky filled with stars, holding someone's hand, listening to beautiful music, or simply feeling, for one brief moment, completely at peace. Why do moments like these touch us so deeply? Why do some people seem naturally connected to life, while others spend years searching for something they cannot name? Can the soul truly awaken? And if it can, what changes afterward? Does life become easier? Do we finally discover our purpose? Or do we simply begin seeing the same world through completely different eyes? These are questions that have inspired seekers for generations. And tonight, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Beinsa Douno, we'll gently explore them together, not by forcing answers, but by creating the quiet inner space where answers often reveal themselves naturally. As this night rampage unfolds, you'll discover why Beinsa Douno believed divine love is the greatest teacher, how it gently awakens the soul, why awakening is less about becoming someone new than remembering who you've always been. And through a peaceful NLP experience, you'll allow these ideas to become something more than words. They'll become a feeling, a quiet knowing, a gentle remembrance. So allow your breathing to become just a little slower. Feel the support beneath your body. Imagine that somewhere high in the peaceful mountains, beneath a brilliant moon, beside the crystal waters of the 7 Rila lakes, a wise teacher sits in complete stillness, surrounded by those who have come simply to listen. Not because he promises to change their lives, but because he gently reminds them of what has always lived within them. Perhaps, tonight, your own soul is ready to remember. One of the most beautiful gifts Beinsa Douno offered the world was a different way of seeing ourselves. He invited people to look beyond the personality, beyond the roles we play, beyond our successes and failures, even beyond the stories we tell ourselves. Because none of those things, he believed, are the deepest truth of who we are. According to Beinsa Douno, within every person lives a divine spark, a living presence that quietly connects us to the infinite. He called it the soul, not something distant, not something reserved for saints or spiritual masters, but something already alive within every human being. Every child enters the world carrying this quiet light, before the mind begins collecting fears, before comparison, before disappointment, before the endless habit of measuring our worth against the world around us. The soul simply knows. It knows how to love. It knows how to trust. It knows how to recognize beauty. It knows that life itself is sacred. As the years pass, our attention is often drawn outward. We become busy building careers, meeting expectations, solving problems, protecting ourselves from disappointment. Little by little, without even realizing it, we begin listening more closely to fear than to wisdom, more closely to doubt than to love, more closely to the opinions of others than to the quiet voice already living within. Beinsa Douno never suggested that this makes us broken. He simply understood that we become distracted, like someone who becomes so fascinated by the changing clouds that they forget to look toward the sun quietly shining beyond them. The soul never disappears. Its light never grows weaker. Only our attention wanders. There is something deeply comforting about that. It means there is nothing you need to repair before becoming worthy of peace. Nothing you must prove before becoming worthy of love. Nothing you must earn before discovering the quiet wisdom already waiting inside you. Even your most difficult experiences have not been wasted. Beinsa Douno believed that every challenge carries within it the possibility of awakening a greater understanding, not because suffering is the goal, but because every experience offers another opportunity to choose love instead of fear, compassion instead of judgment, faith instead of despair. Take a moment to notice how that feels, not as an idea to analyze, but as a possibility to experience. Imagine setting down, just for tonight, every label you've carried, every expectation, every old story about who you should have been by now. Without those labels, who remains? Without yesterday, without tomorrow. Who is quietly listening to these words right now? There is no need to answer. Simply allow the question to rest gently within you. Sometimes the deepest truths are not discovered through thinking. They are recognized through stillness. And that recognition begins quietly, long before words can describe it. As you continue listening tonight, you may find yourself becoming less interested in changing who you are and more interested in discovering who has been here all along. That quiet discovery, Beinsa Douno believed, is where every true awakening begins. If the soul is the quiet light within, then what awakens it? This was one of the questions that remained at the very center of Beinsa Douno's teachings. His answer was beautifully simple: divine love. Not the kind of love that depends upon circumstances. Not the love that asks for something in return. Not the love that appears one day and disappears the next. He spoke of a love that exists whether we notice it or not. A love that continues flowing through creation, through every sunrise, every gentle breeze, every act of kindness, every sincere prayer, and every quiet moment when the heart opens, even for an instant. According to Beinsa Douno, divine love is not something we create. It is something we receive, like opening a window after a long winter. The sunlight was already there. The window simply allows it to enter. In the same way, the soul does not force itself awake. It begins to awaken the moment we become willing to receive what has always been present. That willingness often begins in surprisingly ordinary moments. A moment of gratitude, a kind word offered without expecting recognition, choosing forgiveness instead of carrying another burden, pausing long enough to notice the beauty of a single flower, or listening to the quiet song of the wind through the trees. Beinsa Douno believed these moments are never small. They gently remind the soul of its true home. Notice what begins to happen inside you as you hear these words. There is nothing you have to achieve right now, nothing you have to chase, nothing you have to force. Simply becoming available to love is already a beautiful beginning. Imagine your heart as a beautiful garden that has patiently waited through every season. Some places have blossomed, others have remained quiet beneath the surface. Yet beneath the soil, life has never stopped growing. With every moment of kindness, another seed awakens. With every moment of gratitude, another flower reaches toward the light. With every moment, you choose understanding over judgment. The garden becomes a little more vibrant. This is how divine love transforms us. Not all at once, not through struggle, but one gentle opening after another, one peaceful realization after another, one quiet choice after another. Even now, you may notice yourself feeling a little lighter, or calmer, or simply more present. Whatever you are experiencing, allow it to unfold in its own perfect rhythm. There is nothing to compare, nothing to measure. Your journey has never belonged to anyone else. Beinsa Douno often encouraged his students to live in harmony rather than in conflict. Harmony with nature, harmony with one another, harmony with their own thoughts. Because when harmony begins to replace resistance, the soul naturally recognizes the presence of divine love. And when divine love is welcomed, something remarkable begins to happen. Fear slowly loses its voice. The heart becomes gentler. Compassion grows naturally. Wisdom begins to replace uncertainty. Not because the world has changed, but because the light within you has become easier to see. And as this peaceful awareness continues to settle, allow yourself to simply receive. Receive the stillness. Receive the kindness. Receive the quiet certainty that nothing real within you has ever been lost. The soul has always known the way. Divine love simply helps you remember. Now, there is nothing more to understand, nothing more to analyze. Simply allow yourself to receive this moment exactly as it arrives. Imagine yourself walking along a peaceful mountain path beneath a sky filled with stars. The night air is cool and refreshing. Every step feels lighter than the one before. Far ahead, a soft golden light glows against the deep blue of the evening. As you draw closer, you find a small gathering sitting in complete peace. No one is in a hurry. No one is trying to become someone else. There is only stillness, quiet attention, and an atmosphere filled with kindness. At the center of the gathering sits Beinsa Douno. His presence is gentle, unhurried, peaceful. He smiles with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that every soul finds its way home in its own perfect time. He doesn't ask you to change. He doesn't ask you to prove anything. Instead, he simply welcomes you to sit beside the others. For a few moments, no words are needed. The silence itself seems to carry a quiet wisdom. You notice how peaceful everything feels, how naturally your shoulders begin to soften, how easily your breathing finds its own gentle rhythm without trying. Your mind begins to grow quieter. The thoughts that seemed so important earlier become softer, more distant. as though they are gently drifting toward the horizon, growing lighter, smaller, less demanding, until they become only tiny ripples of sound in a vast, peaceful silence. And in that newly created space, something else begins to grow. A feeling of warmth, a feeling of safety, a quiet sense of belonging. Allow that feeling to become just a little brighter, just a little warmer, as though a gentle light has been resting inside your heart all along, waiting for this simple moment of recognition. With every peaceful breath, that light becomes richer, more comforting, more familiar. Not because anything is being added, but because what has always been there is becoming easier to notice. As you sit quietly, Beinsa Douno slowly looks toward you. His eyes are filled with compassion, not because he sees someone who needs to be rescued, but because he sees the beauty that has always existed within you. Without speaking, his presence seems to remind you, you are already connected to divine love. You have always been connected. Nothing can separate you from it. Remain with that feeling for a little while. Allow it to settle gently into every part of you, into your thoughts, into your heart, into every cell of your body. And before this peaceful gathering slowly fades into the quiet beauty of the night, allow yourself to choose one simple word that captures this feeling. Love, peace, trust, joy, harmony, or whatever word naturally comes to you. There is no wrong choice. Let that word become a quiet companion, a gentle light you can return to whenever life feels uncertain. Each time you remember it, each time you whisper it softly to yourself, your heart will find its way back to this peaceful place, back to this quiet gathering, back to the living presence of divine love that Beinsa Douno so beautifully shared with the world. And even after this journey continues, some part of you will remember this feeling, not because you tried to hold on to it, but because your soul recognizes what is true. And what is true never needs to struggle to remain. As this peaceful journey gently comes to a close, allow yourself to rest for a few quiet moments, without reaching for another thought, without searching for another answer, simply resting in the gentle awareness that something beautiful has already begun. Beinsa Douno believed that the greatest transformations rarely arrive with great noise. More often, they unfold quietly, like the first light of dawn slowly touching the horizon, so softly, so patiently, that the world seems unchanged, until suddenly, everything is seen in a different light. Tonight may feel very much the same. You may not wake tomorrow believing that everything in your life has changed overnight, yet something within you may feel a little lighter, a little kinder, a little more peaceful. You may notice yourself pausing before reacting, listening a little more deeply, finding beauty in places that once seemed ordinary, offering kindness more naturally, not because you remind yourself to, but because it begins to flow from who you are becoming. This is how divine love quietly expresses itself, not through extraordinary moments alone, but through ordinary moments lived with extraordinary awareness. A gentle smile, a patient conversation, a forgiving heart, a grateful thought, a moment of stillness before beginning the day. These small moments become the quiet language of the awakened soul. Beinsa Douno reminded his students that every new day is another opportunity to live in harmony with divine love. Not to become perfect, but to become more deeply aligned with the light already living within. And every time you choose love instead of fear, every time you choose understanding instead of judgment, every time you choose hope instead of discouragement, your soul remembers a little more of its true nature. There is nothing you need to force, no finish line you must reach, no race you must win. Life itself will continue offering beautiful opportunities to grow. One experience, one relationship, one sunrise, one quiet evening at a time. As you continue walking your own path, may you remember the wisdom Beinsa Douno shared so gently, that divine love is never far away. It is present in every sincere act of goodness, every grateful heart, every beautiful thought, every peaceful moment when you choose harmony over conflict. And perhaps, most importantly, it has always been present within you as your body grows heavier and your mind becomes quieter. Allow this peaceful feeling to settle deeply into your heart. Let it become a quiet companion, traveling with you through tomorrow and the days that follow. Whenever life feels uncertain, you can return to this remembrance, not because this place exists only here, but because it exists within you. The light of your soul has never gone out. It has simply been waiting for your quiet attention. May tonight bring you deep and restorative sleep. May tomorrow greet you with fresh eyes, an open heart, and the quiet confidence that every step you take can become an expression of divine love. Thank you for sharing this peaceful journey with me. If this night rampage brought a little more light into your evening, I'd love to have you join me again. Each week, we gather here to explore timeless wisdom, gentle NLP experiences, and quiet reflections that help you release the weight of the day and reconnect with the peace already within you. Until our next night rampage, may divine love gently guide your heart. May your soul continue to awaken in its own beautiful way. And may your dreams carry you into a new day filled with harmony, hope, and quiet joy. Good night.